Well, here we are again.
I
Like the local bus service, never, then twice in a short space of time.
did promise.
I promised before, but never quite made it. But we've had some unusual circumstances today with a large Alberta clipper, which for those of you who don't know, not from our area, it's a weather front that comes through, and I had a busy day out and about all day, and basically I've gone nowhere because there's blowing snow and multiple car pile-ups and whiteouts, and you can't see the road, so it's slippy as anything. So we kind of, I'm old enough and wise enough now not to go.
Well, you were contemplating, and then I said, like, no, you're not going anywhere. There's like 20 and 40 car pile-ups and poor visibility, and it's like the emergency beeper went off on our phone, didn't there?
Well, yeah, even the
alert that you get.
government's alerting, don't drive if you don't have to, and I'm actually listening to the government, so that's first. I'd already made the decision.
Yeah, make common sense, like don't go anywhere. And your mum yesterday, we knew that this storm was coming, and I said like, oh, I'm gonna go and do grocery shopping and go to the butcher today. And she says like, well, no, if it's like really bad, then you should go now. So I'm like, okay, Mom, like I'm going. So about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I went and did groceries, and glad I did, because our butcher's shut.
Yeah, they're not even open today. They put a social media post out saying they can't make it either, or some of the staff can't. There's no point in one person showing up and nobody else, so may as well just shut her down and wait till it all blows by. And
The
then,
perimeter was closed anyway. We couldn't drive.
well,
Couldn't get there.
a lot of the highways are closed. Yeah, I mean, you can drive on the highway, but your insurance is null and void, and if the police or peace officer stops you, there's a fine for you being out on that highway, because the onus is on you to find out whether the roads are closed or not, and if they are closed, then you shouldn't be on them. So
when people say listen to your mum, obviously I did listen to your mum since.
people rarely listen to mother-in-laws, but there you go.
I always listen to your mother-in-law. You don't.
You bucked the trend.
You forgot to phone her last week.
Hmm.
That's another
Really?
story.
Really? Not going to live that one down, am I?
But anyway, today's topic, like when we were in the corporate world, like, and obviously, we've got like, and this makes us sound really old, but we've got between us like nearly 40 years of nutrition, fitness, and mental health and wellness expertise between us. So we're really, really old, eh?
We?
Well, you're older than me.
Oh, but I wasn't going to point out that you're 39 years of them were yours.
Yeah.
I was just the last 12 months of showing up.
But when we do go into the corporate field and even working with like individuals, we used to say when we presented that those talking about nutrition know just about enough to be dangerous. And what we would mean by that is you get a lot of like half-hour personal trainers who do a course online, and like nutrition people who again have just gone online, got a certificate, and like people reselling MLM stuff that like shakes and whatever don't really understand what they're selling.
A lot of times, again, these courses are good for the scope that they cover, but the problem is a lot of times people will take a course like that and they won't even look at or check out the scope of what the course actually covered. So they'll go and take a course for half an hour, which basically may just outline macros and what carbs, fats, and proteins do in the body. And the next thing, they're giving people full meal plans and everything else, which is way outside the field.
Go for practice
of what they've just learned. So again, that's what we mean. They kind of grab an inch and take a mile. So I mean, so that's kind of, again, people just get stuck into that. Oh, I know it all now, so I can do this. And again, there's a lot of, even in food and nutrition, there's a lot of contraindicators, and you've just got to be aware. I mean, one of the simple ones is people have said, oh yeah, I've seen a thing the other day, I'm going to supplement with omega-3s. First question, are you on a blood thinner? Yes. Well, omega-3 is a natural blood thinner. So now you're going to doubly thin your blood. So check with your doctor, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, again, it's a lot of the things you need to know, because the food is medicine. So, I mean, it can affect, medications and other things that you're on and your health overall.
And when we used to say, obviously, those talking about nutrition know just about enough to be dangerous. And I actually say now the same thing with skincare. Those talking about skincare know just about enough to be potentially dangerous as well. And when it comes to like my skincare products, like Health Canada regulates us quite tightly. We have to, well, we're supposed to, and I do, we're supposed to fill out what's called a cosmetic notification form online, the CNF, for every product that you sell. And some people don't. Onus is on you, and if you get caught, then Health Canada don't like it. But they also regulate what we can put on our labels, what we can say, what we can't. And they also regulate what we actually literally can say that our products do. And we've experienced a lot of, like, we said on our last podcast that we did just shy of like 100 events, markets and things last year. And you listen to a lot of other skincare providers. We've got some like very credible like skincare friends out there, but we see a lot of people making medical claims about their skincare products. And going back to Health Canada regulating us, I've got a 60-page binder. And when I'm doing my labels, it's like, well, can I say this? Can I say that? One of the things, obviously, our cat's decided to join us on the desk. So if you hear any purgling, um, then it's him, and he's blocking the microphone now. Get your bum out of the way. So, so yeah,
Yeah, not me.
yeah, the cat. So obviously it's thrown Mr. Binker's thrown me off my track now. So there are 60 pages saying this is what you can say, this is what you can't say. You can't make any medical claims regarding products. And if you even mention rosacea, like it actually
The
specifically
police show up.
yeah, you literally can make no reference whatsoever about rosacea. And the amount of people that I see that do, they've got a list of like, oh, it'll fix this, it'll heal that, and it'll cure. And it's scary because a lot of the people doing the skincare at markets, unlike us, I mean, we're an incorporated business. This is our full-time gig, whereas they're kind of just part-timers, side hustles. And if you end up on Health Canada's radar and you get fined, like that's not cheap and could cost you the house and your car, like, but whatever. But one of the things with regard to your skin, it is actually the largest organ that your body has. And another thing that a lot of other skincare providers out there say is like, oh, anything that you put on your skin topically goes into your bloodstream within 26 seconds. Trust me, your topical will not go into your bloodstream. Period. Like, just don't even listen to it. And the only way that
Unless you cut your hand.
yeah, you could, like, if you've got like an open wound, but the chances are, unless it's a polysporin or something to heal it, but again, that's a medicated like product and designed to do that. But if you're just using a topical, it's not going to end up in your bloodstream. And you've actually got 3 layers of skin. You've got your epidermis, your dermis, and your hypodermis. Your epidermis is your outer layer. And there's actually 5 layers to that epidermis as well. So you've got sweat pores on there, hair shafts, and your stratum corneum, which is basically the thickest outer layer on your skin. It contains dead skin cells, and it's what prevents moisture loss. Its key job is to block external irritants, so things like viruses, bacteria, pollutants, allergens, and it also regulates absorption as well. Then you've got your dermis, which consists of your hair follicles, sweat glands, and collagen, and your hypodermis, which is your fat and collagen fibroblasts. And fibroblasts are cells that contribute to the formation of connective tissues. So the hypodermis is the 3rd layer in your skin. So if you are applying a topical, the lotion won't get any further than your epidermis unless it's a medicated transdermal patch, which sounds like something from the Starship Enterprise. Or
Unless you go to a pharmacy.
unless you go to a
They know what you're talking about.
medicated transdermal patch. And that could be things like hormonal patches and things like nicotine patches. So unless it's a medicated prescription topical, and often you have to use massage and heat for it to get any further than that, like epidermis, that first layer of your skin. And so again, like people making all these claims out there that like they can heal like inflammatory skin conditions and it'll get into your bloodstream and you shouldn't be using this, you shouldn't be using that, then again, just start backing away or asking more questions. And the only way that you can actually get to the dermis and the hypodermis is actually improving your internal health of the body. So again, like I said, we're really old and got 40 years of nutrition and fitness expertise between us, and we have qualifications. We're educated on chronic systemic inflammation in the body, which you guys, if you've followed us for a while, you know that we understand the impacts from overall health, mental health, wellness, like just bodily health when you're actually looking at what you actually put into your body. And one of the things that, going back to what you said at the beginning about the omega-3, there's a lot of natural skincare creators out there. And they use a lot of like food ingredients. And we've got a good friend who's a pharmacist. And like for the last goodness knows how many years, I've always referred to him if I've never been clear on something, if there's like contraindicators. Things like echinacea. People know that echinacea is great for you, but only in certain circumstances. So how do you, if you're hyperthyroid, then your immune system is overstimulated. Echinacea is going to stimulate it even more. So he said to me years ago, if you're hypothyroid, you should not be supplementing with echinacea. If you're not hypothyroid, yeah, take it. It's a great supplement. But again, how many people go for their annual medicals? Do you actually know that you're hypothyroid? Like, if you don't, then, you know, you could be potentially impacting your health. And one of the things, especially in Canada, like, illustrious, I don't want to say leader because that's the wrong word for PM, but he made cannabis legal how many years ago now here?
6 or 7.
Yeah, but obviously things like CBD oil and hemp are used quite a lot in skincare products. Obviously CBD, what's the oh shoot.
Good job.
The active ingredient, like the stimulant part of the CBD. I'll get you to put it in the show notes. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But things like hemp and CBD are used a lot in skincare products. But
HTC.
HTC.
Just thought.
Like, no.
It was 3 letters, but just put
THC.
THC.
Yeah.
It's just the right combination. I'm not right. I'll just cross that, put it out of the show notes. Okay.
Mental block. I just couldn't think of it. I could see some of the letters and I just couldn't.
Me too, just in the wrong order. Oh, I'm dyslexic.
Another one to add to the list.
Yeah.
But when it comes to hemp, you can have them, you can take them as oral drops, even if they're in skincare products. I said that you can't get anything topically past your epidermis. Well, a lot of products out there actually, things like lip balms and even moisturizers, facial moisturizers, they can actually end up inside your mouth and like you can end up ingesting them. But you should be avoiding anything like hemp products if you've got an actual IgE hazelnut allergy or intolerance. And do you want to explain like...
No. Immunoglobulins.
Yeah.
Immunoglobulins, again, we've dealt with this in the fitness industry as well, because especially with like food and other things, because you've got different ones. You've got IgA, IgD, IgE, IgG, and IgM, and the IgA and IgG are split into 2 and 4 respectively, as well as different ones.
There's an exam at the end of the podcast.
Yes, there is. And again, like IgA is basically most of your mucus in your body. So any opening that you have to the outside world, whichever one of the ones it may be basically have a mucosal lining to protect you. And IgE is basically the one where you'll get like an allergic response to it.
Not
So
necessarily anaphylaxis, but like
no, but some sort of response. And again, the IgE, they have a specific radar for like for each allergen. So you may be allergic to cat dander or peanuts or something, but only that specific one, because the IgE only has that one. You may have multiple, but I mean, each one is specifically for each kind of thing that you're allergic to. So it's not just like your IgE is allergic to absolutely everything. It is actually very specific to certain things. So it's again, if you could do some bedtime reading on globulins, they're again part of the immune system, and they look after us again with toxins, antibodies, and they do lots of different jobs. So they're really, really important.
and how do you know if you've got an IgE hazelnut allergy or an intolerance unless you're actually tested and checked for it? I mean, you might not notice it if you're eating them because it could be as part of like a meal, but like there might be things that you don't feel well, and it could just be that you don't really notice it, and it just could be that
Which is why you go for an allergy test.
yeah,
They like do the prick testing and stuff, and they'll put a small amount, and again, just pierce it into your skin to see what happens, because you will have that allergic reaction as the IgE goes there and does its business and starts to try and attack it and get rid of it,
yeah. So
causing inflammation, obviously.
yeah, and I'm going to be covering this topic not today, but
Oh,
no, there's things like with regard to using food ingredients in skincare products, and
something to look forward to.
one of the topics I'm going to be covering is topicals for toddlers and kids, and the do's and don'ts of what you should be putting on your kids.
Not eating many toddlers and kids, so it could be all right.
But not eating any toddlers. And even things like dandelion root, I can't pronounce one of the versions of it, but deglycerus, like I could never pronounce
You're
it.
just tempting people, aren't you?
I know. Well, even when I even reading it, I can never pronounce it. But like dandelion root, like it can be very beneficial from a health perspective, and you have to cycle it. And I made that mistake a few years ago. That I found this dandelion root tea that I loved, and you're supposed to use for 3 weeks and take a week off, and I forgot, and yeah, kind of ended up at the doctor's with some major heart palpitations actually, and did quite a number on me. So even things that are what people call natural,
Yeah, I mean, dandelions not only ruin your garden.
they don't ruin our garden. They're good for our bees. So, but guys, going back to that, healing the body from the inside out, and we've discussed how there's a gut-brain connection and there's also a gut-skin connection. So again, what we actually put inside our body and into our digestive system and how it affects our immune system can contribute to how healthy your skin is from the dermis and the hypodermis levels, but how it will actually eventually get to the epidermis and like make your skin look dull or make your skin look healthy. So
I look dull.
I've got a dermal nutrition platform that will be rolling out soon, just giving information and like updates and narrative on nutrition from the inside and how that what that gut and skin connection is, and how if you're using topicals and you're not kind of getting the results that you're looking for, it could be that you need to start looking at some of like your dietary, nutrition and lifestyle habits.
You mean it's all connected?
Yeah, it is.
Shocking.
Yeah. It's not just
I'll eat crap, put skin cream on and get better.
oh no.
Oh,
It's like
shit.
yeah,
Oh.
that'd be a plan, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that stopped me looking dull.
Yeah. So I could do like all those claims that I heard that lady at one market making, all the medical and pain relief claims, and I can say all this, but you can eat garbage and it'll be fine. It'll fix your skin, your dull skin.
Eye of newt, wing of bat.
Something like that. And I've noticed that, like, I'm not going to like list the company, but like I noticed earlier that one company was referencing the gut-skin connection, but again, they're one of those companies that sells the protein shakes and the liquid calories that we used to say to people. And we used to teach this just to clients, and when we used to teach for CanFit Pro, that digestion actually starts in the mouth, and people kind of look at you and go, well, no, digestion happens in the stomach. And like, digestion actually starts in the mouth, because when you start chewing your food, what happens is it sends a signal to your gut to say like, oh, those digestive juices stand to attention, and they're getting ready to actually digest and break down the foods that you're actually putting into your mouth and will end up into
And what else? And what else is in your mouth?
teeth.
Enzymes.
Enzymes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the amylase is already in your mouth, starting to break down that. So you will, and again, you can absorb through your tongue as well. Because again, you get people with, if you have a heart attack or something, and then you need to spray, what's it in there?
Yeah.
Can't think of the word.
We're having
Brain fart day
it
today.
was like, well, that wasn't like,
I know. Somebody's screaming at the thing. It's the explosive. Nitroglycerin.
that's it.
Yeah, so again, so you can absorb through your tongue, and you can start to chew something like bread, and it'll start to taste sweet, and that is actually breaking down into its sugary textures already with what's happening in your mouth even before it gets to your stomach.
Yeah. So, and like say, digestion starts in the mouth. So when you start chewing, and like say that enzymatic reaction, like, and that chewing and mastication, yes, it basically sends a signal to your gut and tells those digestive juices to stand to attention and get ready for action. And when it gets to the gut, your digestive juices will break down the food even further, and then it sends it to you.
Denaturizing
Yeah,
proteins.
and it sends it to the small intestine, and then the liver and the pancreas provide even more digestive juices to enable even further breakdown of the nutrients. And this is where that absorption actually happens. So when people say you are what you eat, no, you're not. You are what you absorb. So a lot of I'm not trying to bash MLM companies, but most of those
You're doing a great job.
most of those are the ones that sell the like liquid calories and protein shakes, and you can get them from like, obviously GNC.
So circumventing the digestive system doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. No, because if you're actually ingesting your calories in liquid form, then you're bypassing that key vital step. You're not going to get that mastication, that enzymatic action, and your gut is not going to be told, get those digestive juices ready, because there's been no mastication, there's been no chewing, so they're not ready.
Do you know diet drinks do the same thing? That your body thinks sugar's coming in, so it gets already set up for sugar, and when no sugar comes in, it starts craving sugar because it didn't get the energy, and basically it's already started to release insulin. And so it does this cascade effect, and people that drink lots of diet drinks end up putting more weight on because they end up eating more sugar because that's what the body was expecting. And it's all to do with the energy system.
Yeah.
I'll shut.
No, because like it's true. Like these.
So don't rub Diet Coke on your skin.
So diet. Okay. So bypassing the key digestive processes, like liquid calories are, I mean, if it tides you over, but a lot of
They have their place.
They have their place, but especially at this time of year as well, when everybody's on a health kick and they're like trying to lose weight because they've like overeaten, not just between Christmas and New Year. What is it? Like, it's not what you eat between Christmas and New Year, it's what you eat between New Year and Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's come out with all the old not acronym, what's the word I'm thinking of? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Jesus, phenomenal. Getting old sucks. I was forgetful lies.
It does. And so
Anecdotes.
So if you're consuming liquid calories,
Are we still on liquid calories? It's been like an hour.
we'll finish you that, because you've like keep butting in, but butting in with good stuff.
Oh.
Like,
Well, love you
so-
so.
we still obviously are nutrition and fitness professionals. It's just our
Well,
like
people think
pivoted slightly.
people thinking semi-pro listening to me waffle on.
Yeah, semi-pro. And those liquid calories, they there's nothing like, or very minimal of like, there's no digestive juices going to break down any nutrients like when it's been ingested in liquid powdered form. And so going back to that, you are what your body absorbs. At the end of the day, we used to say corporate wise that liquid calories basically end up as expensive pee and poop because your body's not absorbing any or very minimal nutrients from it. So going back to that gut skin connection, the nutrients that are in those liquid calories like are not necessarily your skin's not necessarily going to even see it. So like I said, when it comes to skin health, like lotions will typically only reach your epidermis, your outer skin layer. Um, as I said, to reach your dermis and your hypodermis, you've got to have those medicated transdermal patches or prescription topicals. And just wanted to just share just some of the myths and just explain that it's not just, and I say to people that it's not just a case of rubbing a lotion on. It might visually improve some of the look of your skin or skin conditions. But if you've got something like eczema, psoriasis, and any other inflammatory skin conditions, it could help. But if it's not giving you the results that you want, then at the end of the day, let's start looking at that dermal nutrition. Like, let's look in the inside out and how we can balance the internal health of your body and get to those other two layers of your skin, your dermis and your hypodermis. So skin topicals are good, and just remember that no, it's not going to end up in your bloodstream within 26 seconds. So, and going back like to what you said at the beginning, that there's some courses that you can do online that give you like a basis, but at the end of the day, like we can all look up online what macro and micro nutrients are, but doesn't make us a dietitian and it doesn't make us a doctor either. So when it comes to skin health, just be considerate, and if you see somebody in the market,
Ask questions.
yeah, and if they start stuttering or you're not confident with what they're saying.
Well, again, especially about the ingredients in that, because I mean, if you're putting ingredients into a skincare, you should really know what that ingredient does. And I mean, there is always the mystery of combinations of things, because not everybody, and not even all labs or who make these things test every combination of everything. And the other thing too is everybody's different. So what suits you might not suit somebody else. And
Like you said about the omega-3s and the blood thinning, and like aspirin's a blood thinner. So are you using aspirin? And the list can go on.
yeah, yeah. So I think yeah, if the one person who's listening now, thank you for hanging in there. It's about as good as it got. We're again, we've got not a lot of, not downtime, but not as busy as usual over the next month or two. So you will be putting some more out. And
Yeah, some like shorter ones. And like I say, one of the ones I do want to cover is like kids topicals and toddlers and children's skin, and some of the do's and don'ts on that. And some of the other topics I'm going to be covering skincare, what you should be doing in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, and 50 and over, and how we need to rotate and change what we're using. Because, like we said, with nutrition and fitness, everything works till it doesn't.
damn right.
Yeah.
On that note,
We'll see you next time.
well done stuffing your words out. Bye.
Bye.